You know, when you get invited to come speak at HubSpot, let alone Inbound Marketing 13, it's really hard to say no. You actually have to figure out the ways to say yes. And the way that I'm going to show my yes is to share with you some snapshots of the successes that I've had when I was the face behind the brand of a 6-store Domino's pizza franchise in Chicago. Now you might be asking yourself, what could this pizza guy talking about Domino's pizza in one of the pizza capitals of the world have to share with us about anything? Because the majority of the people think that those two words in that one sentence, Domino's and Chicago, should not even be in the same sentence. But I am going to show you how we built the brand, how we built a business, how we took 6 stores from $3.5 million to over 7. And we did it by engaging the world and building our brand one conversation at a time. You feel like tweeting, you'll find out at the end of this session what Ramon Wow means. So believe it or not, there was actually this 19-year-old kid that wanted to deliver pizza. Go figure. See, the thing is that I always saw the pizza guy on a Friday night as the guy that had the money and an incredible friend or girl in the passenger seat. 19 years old, I said, this should be a nice job to have. When the guy would come and I would pay for the pizza, he always seemed to take out a wad of cash as if it was a parking attendant for a big stadium. I said, this has to be the job to have. Well, let me tell you that 1990 Datsun 310ZX was a lot of fun, delivered a lot of pizzas, and that stereo made a lot of noise. But since day one, I actually almost got fired. I showed up for work at 4:30 without one of the most essential parts of the uniform, which was a belt. And because I showed up at 4:30 and I showed up early with the desire to make a difference and not to just take a job, I was able to keep it and work. Why? Because 30 minutes before I started, I was told that I needed a belt. I hauled it home to my sister's house, borrowed my brother-in-law's belt that was 2 sizes too small, made it back to work at 4:50 and was able to work. Now, see, the thing is that if I would have showed up just for the job, I wouldn't be here. I would have never had that job. I would have never had the opportunity to be a pizza delivery driver for 3 years. I would have never had the opportunity to be a district manager, to work down in Mexico, to meet my wife while working outside the country from 93 to 97. I would not have had those. But see, one of the things that I want to share with you is that when you're given a new task, when you're given a new role, show up early to make a difference. Anyone can take a job. Few can make a difference. In 1990, had I not showed up early for work, we would not have been able to battle McDonald's when they thought they were going to take over as the pizza delivery kings of Chicago. Next time you go through the drive-thru, try and find the McPizza on the menu. They drew first blood by coming to one of our stores. That pizza delivery driver in 1990 with a pager on his hip and a cell phone, brick cell phone in his back pocket, actually looks like he's the owner. But he's just the pizza guy who showed up to make a difference, not to take a job. So I'm telling you, never let your first day on your job be your last, because it just might be the job that changes your life. 3 bold career highlights that I had. Number 1, in 1998, after watching Amazon launch and sell books online, and I told the corporation, why can't we sell pizza online? And they gave me 10 reasons why we couldn't. We just went to a .com, and they made it happen. And because they made it happen for us, and we were able to launch online ordering 7 years before Domino's corporate, I have always been, to this day, what I call a startup's pizza angel. because I always gave back to the startups in Chicago, donating pizzas. Tech Cocktail, when they were first getting started, and Frank was still with AOL and he had events in Chicago, catered by Domino's Pizza because of me as my way of giving back. When we started losing the conversation with the customer because of all the online ordering, we were using AOL Instant Messenger and ICQ before Pizza Tracker was invented, before Twitter was invented. That was our microblog. We were used to talking to customers already in 20, 30, 40 characters. And when Twitter came in, when Twitter was invented, I said, thank you. So you gave me an extra 100 characters. The majority of the brands were saying, how can I shout like this in 140 characters? It wasn't our problem. And then at Northwestern University in 2005, some kid from down the street at Harvard decided to invent Facebook. And I remember watching students hovered around whatever screen that they had, talking about it, saying, you have to come check out the Facebook, Ramon. And if you want to make Domino's Pizza explode on campus at Northwestern, I have an idea for you. We're going to start a Facebook group. I got schooled by a 19-year-old. And I really wish one of these days I could find Megan Ostertag to tell her thank you. So when we looked at Facebook, what did we do? Facebook was closed to the public, but we gave content. We had a very simple blog, and every single event that we were a part of on campus, we took photos, embedded the Domino's Pizza logo on there, and we told students, go up there, right-click, swipe, and steal these photos. The thing is, you have to rewind your life to 2005. You didn't have megapixels in your pocket. You didn't have that fancy phone that Steve Garfield has in his hand, and you could just upload it instantly. It didn't exist. So we solved the problem without even knowing what we were doing. The only thing I knew is that people were talking about us. The other thing that was really powerful for me, and I actually said this, I said two things. I said, one, this Facebook thing for me is going to be my electronic Rolodex, where I can get to know students when they become interns, when they leave school, when they go to business school, and they become professionals. A good case and example is in the upper right-hand corner, the woman on the left, Jenny Kim, who just got married 2 weeks ago. She just recently finished her MBA at the Kellogg School at Northwestern and took on a role as the senior marketing person for the Chicago Fire, the soccer team. Now, you tell me if for a brand and a friendship, that doesn't ring nothing but opportunity. But you have to be willing to invest in beyond today, beyond tomorrow, perhaps even beyond next year. This is what our blog looked like in 2005. Very simple, but that photo section up there was hot. AOL Instant Messenger, this is exactly what they were. Look at the number of characters on there. Our screen name was NU Domino's, Pizza Talk and Chat with the Boss. After I would take somebody's order, provide my contact, I would invite them to join our Facebook group. And I love how Pat says here, dude, are you serious? I think he actually says, shit, man, you're everywhere. That's 2005. So actually in 2005, I thought about going back to college so that I can... Can you imagine if that were necessary now? How many of you would be willing to do that? But a good thing it didn't happen because Northwestern was expensive. Now, the mindset and the fuel behind all of this has been the thought that you need to get people's attention. Why do we need to get people's attention? Because people are distracted. People are busy. Yes, that's somebody walking down at the Central Business District in Sydney, Australia, brushing his teeth. Brian Solis earlier today talked about the walk-in text app that is being distracted and busy. Now, the other thing you need to do, no matter what you do, no matter what you believe in, who your favorite team is, where you live, o qué idioma hablas, Spanish for what language you speak, you just cannot be lazy. Every single day that you get up, every time that you have a task in front of you, you need to tell yourself, this is going to be hard work and is not going to be easy. You notice how I posed for that picture? Help people create content. Pay attention. Don't be lazy. I hope the lighting was good. So you got to think, I tell my kids, they're 13 and 15. I said, I don't care what you guys want to do in life. Just don't be lazy. I will help you. From the first time that I held Roberto, and the first time that I held Oscar, and my wife gave me that dumb look that a wife will give her husband in the delivery room, and I'm just staring at him because he came out with no instructions, kind of like the iPad. And she says, dile algo, tell him something. And I grabbed him, and I held him, Roberto, 15 years ago as I held Oscar 13 years ago. And I told them, and I looked into their eyes deep, and I said, Roberto, and I said, Oscar, my name is Ramon, and I'm going to be your dad for the rest of your life. What else do you tell a kid? And I also told them that no matter what you do, I will be your shadow, I will be your support, and I will have your back. I didn't tell them then, don't be lazy, but if you ever run into them, they'll say, my dad tells us that all the time. The other thing that you need to do is you need to realize that success will only hit a moving target. Have you ever gotten anywhere without moving? Have you ever advanced in traffic without taking your foot off the brake and hitting the gas pedal? Have you ever gotten on that plane without actually getting in line? It doesn't happen. You need to be in motion. You need to think that I have to do something because it's just not going to fall like the rain. Praying sometimes happens. Praying sometimes helps. Yes, people win the lottery, but the rest of us, we need to be in motion because success will only hit a moving target. Yes, when you venture out, maybe this is why men, we get married and we find somebody much smarter than us. You need to go to battle with a wingman. In business and friendship and whatever you do, be in the game with somebody that's going to have your back so that when you run out of energy. This was not taken in the women's room here at Inbound, but I've seen the cue, I've seen the lines. But go to battle with a wingman. You can't be boring. No matter what you do. See, people were too busy. Well, you just can't be boring. You will never look at toilet paper the same way ever in your life. And the reason that you can't be boring is that being boring can be expensive. Stealing a slide from my brothers over here at Gas Pedal, you can argue yes and you can argue no. But let me tell you, when you're selling a franchise brand pizza in a pizza capital of the world, you just can't be boring. What for some people is a normal 6 depends how you decorate it. There's a very big difference. Now, one of those photos on that toilet paper was actually taken at Disney. I was brought in by Disney at to the Anaheim, California, to the animation studios. They wanted to hear a little bit of what I was doing. So, you got to think, these are the people that draw stuff up. What could I possibly share with them? And I shared with them that photo of that boring toilet paper that I took in Orlando, Florida. And I said, you guys are doing a lot of great things, but let me tell you, this is one boring part. Well, actually, I was speaking in Burbank. So by the time I drove from Burbank to my hotel in Anaheim, they listened in real time, and they wowed me. And I always told them that because one of the things I told them, I said, if you make like this origami, you put a logo on there for Disney, trust me, somebody might share it. Hey, I learned what the traffic is like in LA from the north to the south. But all I can say now is thank you. But at the same time, just like with your content, don't go overboard. You just can't. Now, the other thing that we learned as the business progressed and what I saw change in front of my eyes is that social media will always be about people and not about the technology. Caracas, Venezuela, 2010 in the airport, I thought that was a pretty cool photo. Let alone that I think 3 years later, the same caption, Oslo, Norway. The only thing that's different, people, a different part of the world, and a different camera. But the whole thing, that moment, that sharing, that capturing, it's about them. It's not about the device that's in their hand. Now, I got 2 closing sections here. One of them is what I call being your own caffeine. You need to be the person that lights up a room when you walk in it, not that lights it up when you leave. You need to be the person that makes a difference. If I were speaking to one of my clients or the trade groups that I work with, I would tell you that my goal today is to inspire your team members to make a difference in the life of their customers. What I wanted to accomplish today is to inspire one person and have them think, if this pizza guy from Chicago selling that franchise brand can make a difference and make it happen, I can. You need to love yourself. When you get up and you look at yourself in the reflection on your phone because you have not gotten up yet to go to the bathroom and see the mirror, you need to love yourself. You need to say, I am glad, I am grateful, I am thankful to be here, and let's move forward and make a difference. The difference that I want you to make, the biggest difference that I want you to make, that takeaway I hope that you have today is this. I want you to go out there and I want you to work. I want you to go out there and I want you to play. I want you to go out there and I want you to create with the passion of a child. Take a look at Clemente. Look at that look in his face. Look at that passion of that momentum. Do you see fear? Do you see fear of failure there? Do you see stuff running through his mind where he's wondering, I wonder what my parents are going to tell me? I wonder what my other 8 and 9 month-old kids around me are going to say? That kid wants to go out there and make a difference. His parents, his family, his friends, everyone is encouraging him. Someplace along the line, we as adults, we as parents, stop telling that child, you can do it, and we tell them, no, mijo, you can't do it. Next time you have that opportunity to tell that kid you can't do it, you better catch yourself and make sure that the reason you're telling them they can't do it is with regards to safety or something that will harm them. Please go out there, work, play, create with the passion of a child, and you tweet the world that you just saw Ramon Wow here live in Boston at HubSpot. Inbound marketing, I am out of here.